Have you ever realized, painfully, suddenly, that your own family doesn't forget you by accident, but because remembering you was never a priority? That's how this story begins. Not with a fight. Not with anger. Not even with jealousy. It began with a simple email. A simple itinerary. A simple reminder. My family didn't forget me. They excluded me. The email that broke the illusion. My older sister, Adriana, was getting married in Italy, Lake Como, the kind of place you only see on postcards. Our entire family had been planning this trip for 8 months. Group calls. Pinterest boards. Dress fittings. Villa bookings. Brunch menus. 100 conversations about Europe, passports, suitcases, outfits. And every single time, someone said, "Don't worry, we're booking your ticket with ours. We're handling the flights. Relax, we got it all covered." I believed them. Because why wouldn't I? But then the email came. Subject line. Sparkle's final wedding travel details for the whole family airplane Italy Sparkles. I opened it while eating leftover pasta on my couch. And at first glance, everything looked normal. My parents' flights. My aunt and uncle's flights. My cousin's flights. My sister's bridesmaids' flights. Even my niece's toddler seat assignment. And then I reached the bottom. Where my name should have been. But it wasn't. Not even a typo. Not a blank placeholder. Just nothing. I scrolled again, using 2 fingers like maybe I just overlooked it. Nope. Everyone had tickets. Except me. Everyone had seat assignments. Except me. Everyone had beautiful little confirmations. Paid. 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 Except me. There wasn't even a pending. My name didn't exist. The group chat that made it worse. I checked the family WhatsApp group. Messages were flying in. Can't believe we're flying out in 2 days. Lake Como, here we come. Got my airport manicure done, smiling face with heart eyes, nail polish. Everyone ready for Italy? Then my cousin sent a screenshot. Seats together again. Yay! And yes, there were all their names. Sitting in a nice neat row. Laughing. Excited. United. I typed. "Hey, just confirming, what time is my flight again?" 3 dots appeared. Then disappeared. Then appeared again. Then nothing. 10 minutes passed. 15. 20. Finally my mother replied. "Oh honey, we thought you were handling your own ticket." My jaw dropped. What? Every single conversation for the past 8 months said the opposite. I typed. "You guys told me multiple times you were booking it. Even this month." My mother replied. "Oh sweetheart, we didn't say that. You must have misunderstood." I actually laughed out loud. Because the gaslighting was so instant, so reflexive. I could practically see her doing it with a smile. Then my sister chimed in. "Yeah, I assumed you'd pay your own way. I mean, we're already paying for so much. Venue, dress, villa, catering, it's a lot." My father added. "Next time you should confirm these things." And like salt in the wound, my aunt wrote. "Anyway, we'll see you at the villa." So excited. Smiling face with heart eyes, Sparkles airplane. Except I had no villa. No flight. No reservation. Nothing. I was supposed to magically appear in Italy. Somehow. On a plane they forgot to book. The phone call that changed everything. I called my mother. She answered on the second ring, sounding distracted, the "I'm busy doing rich wedding stuff" tone. "Mom," I said tightly, "how could you forget to book my flight?" We talked about this dozens of times. She sighed. That sigh parents use when they mess up, but somehow you become the problem. Oh sweetheart, you always overreact. We figured you'd handle it. You're independent. I clenched my jaw. You told me, directly, that you were booking mine with yours. Well, she replied calmly, plans change. Plans change. Plans change? For an international wedding? 2 days before departure. Mom, flights are almost $1,900 last minute. Yes, well, she cut in, if you wanted to be here badly enough, you'd find a way. There it was. The poison. The manipulation. The unspoken message. If you can't afford it, you don't deserve to be here. If you matter, you'll prove it. If you want family, you'll pay for the privilege. I stood silently. She rushed on. Anyway, I have to go, rehearsal dinner. She hung up. Just like that. The moment of clarity. My hands were shaking. Not from anger. From clarity. Because this wasn't an accident. It wasn't forgetfulness. It wasn't miscommunication. It was a pattern. A lifetime of being the afterthought. Being the backup plan. Being the one who adapts. Being the one expected to sacrifice. Being the one expected to understand. Being the one left out of photo plans. Being the one remembered last. This wasn't new. It was just the most blatant version. I reread the email again. And again. And something inside me simply snapped. Not rage. Not hurt. Resolve. I whispered into the empty room. I'm done being the forgotten one. The decision they never saw coming. I opened my laptop. Searched, flights to Milan. The cheapest one was $1,728 with a 14-hour layover. I stared at it. Then I searched, hostels near Lake Como. $26 a night. Shared room. Metal bunk bed. No air conditioning. And oddly, I felt something waking up inside me. Freedom. My whole life, family dictated. Where I stayed. How long. How fancy. How appropriate. How presentable I needed to be. But this was mine. Not a villa. Not a curated photo moment. Not a family room with matching luggage. Just me. I booked the hostel. Then I booked the flight. Not the expensive one. A cheap one with 2 layovers. And a seat by the bathroom. And absolutely no leg room. I didn't care. Because I wasn't going to the wedding anymore. I was going to Italy. For me. The last text I sent them. Before turning off my phone, I wrote a single message in the group chat. Thanks for forgetting me. I booked my own trip. I'll see you when I see you. My cousin replied with, wait, are you on a different flight? Tell us which one. My mother added, sweetheart? What's going on? My sister wrote, are you seriously making drama right before my wedding? Unamused face. My father simply, we didn't forget. We assumed you'd be responsible. I typed back, I am. That's why I'm leaving. Then I put my phone on airplane mode. Not because I was boarding yet. But because I didn't want another ounce of their energy touching me. Not tonight. Not tomorrow. Not when I boarded the plane. Not when I landed. Let them wonder. Let them panic. Let them realize I wasn't the quiet, convenient daughter anymore. Let them finally feel the weight of what it means to be forgotten. Epilogue of Part 1. As midnight hit, I zipped my small backpack. Not a suitcase. Not a wedding gift. Not an outfit for the ceremony. Just passport. A few shirts. My journal. A cheap camera. And my resolve. I whispered. See you in Italy. But not at the villa. Not in their curated photos. Not in their carefully controlled wedding timeline. I was going on my own terms. And what awaited me in Italy? I had no idea. But I knew one thing. My family had made one final mistake. They forgot me. And they were about to regret it. Have you ever stepped off a plane feeling like you left more behind than just your luggage weight? Like you shed a version of yourself midair. And landed as someone, freer? That was me touching down in Milan Malpensa Airport, exhausted from 2 layovers, dehydrated from airplane coffee, hair a mess, carrying a backpack that was 95% snacks and 5% actual clothes. But I felt alive. Not because Italy looked magical through the airport windows, it did. Not because the air felt warm and golden, it did. Not because I could smell espresso from 50 feet away, I really could. I felt alive because for the first time in my life, I wasn't orbiting my family. I wasn't playing the role of the accommodating one. The forgotten one. The easy one. I was just me. Independent. Unmanaged. Uncontrolled. And it was delicious. The hostel experience, aka reality check. Let me be brutally honest. Hostels are not villas. The moment I arrived, I was greeted by a French backpacker loudly playing a harmonica, a German guy drying his socks on the balcony railing, and 3 girls sharing a single outlet like it was a life support machine. But the staff was friendly. The vibes were chaotic. But pure. I checked in, dropped my bag on my bottom bunk, and just stood there. No mother inspecting the bed. No dad lecturing me about safety. No sister complaining I was taking up space. No cousin telling me to try harder with my hair. Just silence. Freedom. Air. I pulled out my cheap camera and snapped a photo of the room. A bunk bed. A window. A backpack. The beginning of my own story. Meanwhile, at the villa. Chaos. Once I finally turned my phone back on after nearly 20 hours. It lit up like a Christmas tree. 67 messages. 14 missed calls. 11 voice notes. And a handful of passive-aggressive emojis. I didn't open anything. Not yet. Instead, I ordered a cappuccino at a street cafe near the hostel. A €2 cappuccino that tasted like heaven. Only then did I open the group chat. And oh boy. The meltdown was delicious. Message 1, my sister. Are you seriously not on our flight? Where are you? Message 2, Mom. We're at the airport waiting for you. You didn't check in. They were waiting for me? At the airport? For a flight they never booked me? Message 3, Dad. This is childish. Message 4, Mom. Sweetie, we thought you would meet us at the gate. We saved a seat for you at the restaurant. Save a seat where? In the air? Message 5, my sister. You're ruining the vibe. Fix this. Message 6, Aunt Marla. Honestly, if you truly wanted to be here for your sister, you would have figured it out. My cappuccino never tasted sweeter. Then the real twist began. The first call, and I answered. My sister called. Normally, I wouldn't pick up. But I wanted to hear her tone. To hear what entitlement sounds like in 4K audio. I answered calmly. Hello? She didn't calm. Where are you? In Italy. Silence. Actual silence. You're joking. No. I'm in Milan. Then come to the villa. Now. I took a slow sip of my cappuccino. I'm not staying at the villa. What? Why? Because I booked a hostel. Her reaction? A mixture of rage, disbelief, and wounded princess energy. A hostel? Are you insane? What will people think? That I'm enjoying my trip. You were supposed to stay with us. You forgot to book my flights. Her pause was heavy. My sister rarely felt guilt. But this time, she didn't even attempt fake innocence. Instead, she spat. You're seriously making this about you? I laughed softly. You made your wedding trip about excluding me. She gasped dramatically. We didn't exclude you. We just forgot me. No. We thought you'd get your own tickets. Everyone assumed. No one mentioned that until the day before departure. Well, maybe you should have asked. Why would I ask about something you told me you'd handle? Her voice softened into manipulation mode. Look. I'm stressed. Please don't do this. Just come to the villa. No. What do you mean to no? I mean no. You can't say no. It's my wedding. I stood up from the cafe table and began walking through the streets of Milan, the energy of the city buzzing through me. I'll see you at the ceremony. But I'm not staying at the villa. You can't do that. I already did. The scream she let out. I could hear birds flying out of trees. I ended the call. The villa spiral continues. Within 5 minutes. 84 new messages. Aunt Marla. You're being ungrateful. Mom. We're embarrassed. Dad. This feels intentional. Me. It is. Then I muted the group. Because I had better things to do than manage their emotions. Like exploring Milano Central. Eating gelato the size of my face. Breathing air that didn't smell like criticism. The first twist in Italy. I was walking through a street market when my phone buzzed again. But this time, it wasn't a family member. It was my cousin Anna. She never messages me privately. We were always friendly but distant. Her text read, "Can we talk? I need to tell you something." I hesitated. Then typed, "Sure." She replied, "Not over text. Not where anyone can hear. Can you meet me somewhere in Como? Away from the villa?" My stomach tightened. Something was wrong. Very wrong. I asked, "What's happening?" She replied instantly, "It's about the wedding. And it's about you. You need to know the truth." I paused on the busy Milan sidewalk. My heart pounded. What truth? Her answer. They didn't forget to book your flight. They planned not to. A cold rush went through me. Planned? My fingers trembled. Why? Her next message came after a long pause. Because they didn't actually want you at the villa. You weren't supposed to be part of the family photo aesthetic. My breath caught. The what? The aesthetic. Your mom and Adriana wanted everyone in matching tones. Matching dresses. Matching backgrounds. And they said you would throw it off. I stopped walking. People brushed past me, but I couldn't move. I couldn't breathe. Anna sent one more message. They thought you wouldn't come if they didn't book it. You were never meant to be here. The air around me buzzed with anger. With clarity. With betrayal so sharp it felt like glass. I whispered to myself. And then she dropped the first bomb. The reason they forgot you. Anna looked around, then whispered. They didn't want you in the wedding photos. The words hit like a slap. Not just excluded. Not forgotten. Intentionally removed from the visual record of the event. What do you mean? I asked, voice sharp. She bit her lip. Your mom and Adriana hired a photographer from Florence. He specializes in curated aesthetic family portraits. Very staged. Very Instagram. Very fake. I blinked. And they created a color palette for the photos. Cream. Champagne. Dusty rose. Pastel gold. I deadpanned. Okay? Anna hesitated. Then she said it. They said you wouldn't match the aesthetic. A rush of ice flooded my veins. I whispered. Because of my clothes? Anna shook her head. No. Because of you. My heart lurched. What does that even mean? She leaned in. Your mom said, and I'm quoting, "She's too different. She'll throw off the symmetry." A wave of humiliation washed over me. Different how? Anna closed her eyes. Body type. Skin tone. Hair texture. Style. Everything. They wanted a very curated family look. And they said you didn't fit the image. My breath caught. Image of what? Anna swallowed hard. Adriana wants her wedding to go viral. She wants luxury brand deals. She wants family perfection in every shot. I felt sick. So they erased me. They tried, Anna whispered. Your mom said if they forgot your ticket, you'd get the message and stay home. I stared at her. My voice low. So they wanted me to disappear. Anna nodded. Yes. They didn't think you'd show up anyway. A deep, cold flame ignited in my chest. But Anna wasn't finished. The secret that cut deeper. She looked down, tears gathering. There's something else, she whispered. I braced myself. Your mom didn't tell Adriana to forget your ticket. I narrowed my eyes. What does that mean? Anna took a deep breath. It was Adriana's idea. My heart froze. What? Anna nodded slowly. She told your mom. Don't bother booking her flight. It'll be better without her. She always ruins the vibe. Ruins the vibe. The phrase hit like a punch. The girl who helped Adriana with homework. Stayed up with her through heartbreak. Loaned her money without telling anyone. Helped pick the engagement ring. Planned part of the bachelorette. Bought her a bridal gift she never said thank you for. Ruins the vibe? I felt something crack inside me. The kind of crack that doesn't bleed. The kind that hardens. The full truth, the real motive. I asked quietly. Why did Adriana hate the idea of me being here so much? Anna sighed. She doesn't hate you. Clearly. She's jealous of you. I blinked. What? Of what? Anna sighed deeply. You don't try. That's what kills her. I frowned. Explain. Anna leaned closer. You've always been the one who doesn't chase approval. You don't copy trends. You don't compete. You don't need validation. You don't structure your life around appearances. You're real. I stared. And your sister cannot stand that. She pushed her hair back. To be honest, none of them can. Your mom included. I felt my throat tighten. Anna continued. You walk into a room and you're just, you. Confident without effort. You have your own style. Your own identity. People like you without you trying. And that bothers them. I shook my head slowly. That doesn't justify this. No, Anna whispered. But it explains it. She sipped her coffee. Your sister said she didn't want you stealing attention by simply existing. I froze. Stealing attention? I never. I know, Anna said gently. But you don't have to. Some people shine by accident. And some people resent that. The words sank in like heavy stones. This wasn't about a plane ticket. It was about their image. Their insecurity. Their need for control. Their obsession with perception. Their jealousy. Everything suddenly made sense. The comments about my hair. The digs at my style. The snide remarks. The subtle exclusion. The moments they forgot to invite me. The way they talked over me. The way my achievements got ignored. The way Adriana always tried to one-up me. It wasn't random. It was intentional. Systematic. Rooted in how they saw me. Not as part of their aesthetic family fantasy, but as a threat. And now, their fear had backfired. Because I wasn't going anywhere. The moment the revenge sparked, I leaned back in my chair. Calm. Collected. Ice cold. "Anna," I said softly, "thank you." "Truly." She nodded. "I'm sorry for the family. They're complicated." I chuckled bitterly. "That's one word." She hesitated, then whispered. "You're not going to let this go, are you?" I smiled. Not a sweet smile. A controlled, deliberate one. "No." Anna swallowed. "What are you going to do?" I looked out at Lake Como, sparkling under the sun. The perfect place for a perfect wedding. The perfect place for a perfect illusion. A perfect stage. And whispered. "I'm going to the wedding." Anna's eyes widened. "What?" "But you said." "I know what I said." She leaned in. "Do you want to ruin it?" I shook my head. "No." Her brows furrowed. "Then what?" I held her gaze. "I want them to see me." Anna blinked. "See you?" "Yes." I stood up slowly, feeling power return to my spine. Not the invisible version. Not the forgotten version. Not the background character they forced me to be. I tucked a strand of hair behind my ear. "I want them to see the version of me they never expected." Anna's voice dropped to a whisper. "Which is?" I smiled again. "A woman who knows exactly who she is. And exactly what she's worth." Anna took a breath. "And what happens after they see you?" I turned toward the door. "Everything they tried to hide will be exposed." She grabbed my wrist gently. "They won't like what you're planning." I pulled my wrist back gently. "I'm not doing it for them." I started walking down the hill, the lake glittering ahead. "And Anna?" She called out. "Yes?" I looked back at her with the calmest expression I've ever worn. "I'm done being forgotten." And with that, the revenge began. There's a strange confidence that comes from being underestimated your whole life. It builds slowly, like pressure in a sealed bottle, unnoticed, dismissed, ignored. Until one day, you twist the cap. And everything explodes. That was me the morning I headed to the villa. Lake Como shimmered like it was made of liquid diamonds. The breeze smelled like lemon trees and warm stone. And as I walked toward the taxi stand near the docks, I felt nothing but clarity. Not anxiety. Not guilt. Not fear. Just, I belong here. Not because my family invited me. Not because they approved. But because I chose to come. And they would deal with it. The villa of perfection. The villa was exactly what I expected, and more. White stone walls. Towering cypress trees. Arched doorways covered in ivy. A massive terrace overlooking the glittering lake. Tables being set for photo shoots, brunches, pre-wedding content. Everything was curated to be Instagram perfect. A photographer paced around, adjusting lighting reflectors. Bridesmaids laughed loudly with mimosas in hand. Everyone glowed in matching blush-tone dresses like extras in a luxury perfume ad. And then there was me, stepping out of a taxi in black jeans, boots, and a soft cream top that caught the sunlight just right. Not coordinated. Not matching. But unmistakably, present. A few bridesmaids saw me and whispered instantly. Then one of them pointed. Then someone gasped. Then someone dropped a champagne flute. Perfect. The first silence. I walked up the stone steps, suitcase rolling behind me, head held high, hair lifted by the soft Italian breeze. My mother was the first one to spot me. She froze mid-sentence, her smile collapsing like a dying light bulb. My father blinked twice, confused. My aunt's jaw dropped. And Adriana? She turned slowly, her champagne flute halfway to her lips. When she saw me, the look on her face was art. Pure, unfiltered shock mixed with panic. Like she'd seen a ghost. Or worse. A truth she couldn't control. "Hi," I said calmly. The entire terrace fell silent. You could have heard a lemon seed drop. The confrontation begins. My mother approached first, clutching her pearls dramatically. "What are you doing here?" I raised an eyebrow. "At my sister's wedding?" What a strange question. She swallowed hard. "We thought you weren't coming." "No. You hoped I wouldn't come." Her face twitched. "Well, this is surprising." "It shouldn't be," I said coolly. "It's a family wedding." Adriana finally stepped forward, mouth tight. "You didn't tell us you were arriving today." I shrugged lightly. "You didn't tell me I needed to arrange my own flight. So I figured we were improvising now." A few bridesmaids gasped. Someone choked on her mimosa. The photographer raised his eyebrows like he was watching reality TV. Adriana's eye twitched. "Well, you could have at least kept us updated." I tilted my head. "Like how you kept me updated while planning the trip for 8 months, without me?" Her lips parted, but no sound came out. My father jumped in, trying to take control. "Let's not make a scene." I smirked. "Oh, trust me. I'm not making a scene. I'm just standing here." It wasn't my voice that made them uncomfortable. It was the fact they had absolutely no power over me in that moment. None. The photographer incident. The photographer, a tall Italian man named Lorenzo, approached Adriana with a clipboard. "Signorina, do you want her in the group shots or no? We must finalize the sequence." Every head turned. Adriana froze. Her chest rose. Her throat bobbed. Her eyes darted to me. She had seconds to respond. Seconds to decide whether to expose her plan or pretend nothing was wrong. You could feel the tension strangling the air. Finally, she forced out. "Oh, of course she's in the photos." But her eye twitched. Her voice cracked. The lie was visible from space. Lorenzo nodded professionally. "As you wish." He walked off, but not before giving me a subtle sympathetic smile. He knew drama when he saw it. The private talk. Adriana grabbed my wrist. "We need to talk. Now." I pulled my wrist back. "You can ask nicely." She clenched her jaw. "Please." So I followed her inside. The villa's interior was even more elaborate, gold-trimmed mirrors, massive floral installations, rows of Italian pastries set out for pre-ceremony photos. She led me to a quiet corner behind a curtain wall. Then she spun on me. "What the hell are you doing?" I blinked. "Existing? You weren't supposed to come." I raised an eyebrow. "Forgot that line in your family aesthetic script?" Her face went pale. Then flushed. "Someone told you." I didn't blink. "Anna." Her expression snapped into pure fury. "That little." "Don't even try," I cut in coldly. "Anna told me everything." She tightened her fists. "Look, this is my day. My wedding. My photos. Everything here is designed to be harmonious and elegant. And you." She stopped. I smiled thinly. Go on. Say it. I don't want you ruining the look, she snapped. You don't match. We coordinated everything for months. You're out of place. My chest tightened, but my expression didn't move. I forced calm into my voice. So let me understand. You didn't forget my ticket. You didn't assume I'd buy my own. You purposely left me out so your pictures would look more perfect. She crossed her arms. Yes. There it was. The confession. Raw. Unfiltered. Ugly. You always steal focus, she said bitterly. Even when you don't try. People like you. They notice you. And this day is supposed to be about me. I stared at her. For the first time in my life, I didn't fold. Didn't shrink. Didn't apologize for breathing. You don't need me to steal the spotlight, I said softly. You hand it to me every time you try to erase me. She blinked, thrown. I'm not here to take anything from you, Adriana. But you tried to take everything from me. She flinched. Fine, she spat. You're here. Just stay out of my way. And stay out of the important photos. I smiled. Cold. Elegant. Precise. We'll see. The moment she realized she lost control. We walked back outside. The photographer gestured for everyone to gather. I stood a few steps behind the group, not hiding, just observing. Then something unexpected happened. Lorenzo looked at the bride's family. He scanned faces. He paused at me. Then said, You. Sorelina, the sister. Come to the front. Next to the bride. Adriana choked. My parents stiffened. The bridesmaids exchanged looks. And everyone watched me. I walked forward slowly. Calm. Unapologetic. Present. I stood beside Adriana. She whispered harshly. Move back. I didn't. Lorenzo lifted his camera. Perfect. Hold. Beautiful. Click. 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 And in that moment, for the first time in my life, I saw it clearly in my sister's eyes. She wasn't afraid I'd ruin her photos. She was afraid I'd make them better. The end of part 4, The Seed of Revenge. As the photos continued, I stayed exactly where the photographer placed me. Not to spite her. Not to steal her spotlight. But to reclaim my space. My existence. My worth. I didn't have to do anything dramatic. Just standing there. Present, confident, unbothered. Was enough to crack the illusion she spent months building. And she knew it. She kept glancing at me. Panicked. Threatened. Shaken. Because she finally realized something she'd ignored her whole life. I wasn't the forgettable sister. I was the unforgettable one. And this? This wasn't revenge yet. This was just the beginning. The morning of the wedding felt like the world was being rewound, a soft brushed filter over everything, slow camera movements you see in movies. White petals, silk ribbons, nervous laughter. The villa hummed with calm control. Perfume and cologne, officials fussing with corsages, the photographer calibrating his light one last time. Except under the surface it was a pressure cooker. Adriana's composure was thinner than sheer chiffon, the kind of thin that snaps when a single truth is dropped into the machine. I watched her from across the terrace while she posed for pre-ceremony content. She smiled the kind of smile that takes practice. Her bridesmaids moved like clockwork. The villa staff hovered like silent stagehands. It was a set designed to convince the world of perfection. I had a plan, yes, but my plan wasn't sabotage. It was exposure, quiet, surgical, undeniable. I'd come to belong, not to burn the place down. Still, I had one card no one expected, the receipts, the chats, Anna's testimony, the photographer's whispered curiosity, and a single line of text I had saved on my phone that would do exactly what a good light does to a lie: expose it. The procession, tension feeds the crowd. The guests gathered. The string quartet struck the first chords. The aisle shimmered under polite lighting and the occasional flash of an influencer's phone. Everyone stood as Adriana walked in, trembling with practiced calm. The groom looked handsome and genuinely happy, the ceremony's warm center. I sat near the back. The priest's voice was a rhythmic hum, vows were murmured, and I felt the old, familiar ache, the otherness I lived with. But this time it was different. The ache was an engine. Halfway through the ceremony, when the priest asked if anyone objected, I noticed Adriana's gaze flick to me and hold. Her jaw tightened. She knew. The possibility that something could derail the show flashed across her face like lightning. The room smelled of lilies and held its breath. My moment didn't come as a scream. It came as an email, one I'd scheduled that morning to send to every guest and, crucially, to the hashtagged story feed the wedding planner had set up for the event. In the tiny, precise subject line I wrote, "To everyone here, read this before you like a single photo." I set my phone down and, with my heart climbing into my throat, I hit send. The message drops, the room shifts. Phones vibrated. Heads bowed to screens. A few people glanced up at me in confusion. Then my sister's smile lagged, it curdled. My mother's hand flew to her mouth. The coffee waitress froze mid-pour. The message wasn't long. It contained screenshots, the family itinerary with my name missing, the WhatsApp thread where they told me they'd booked my ticket, Anna's private message confirming Adriana's specific plan, and a time-stamped receipt from my own booking that proved I'd flown in alone. A short line from me at the bottom. "I came because I wanted to be at my sister's wedding, not because you allowed me. You planned my absence to make your photos perfect. This is the truth." For a beat, reality paused. Then phones erupted into whispers, camera flashes, messages forwarded to friends, cousins clicking screenshots into DMs. The curated perfection they'd crafted began to fray at the edges like lace catching on a nail. Adriana's face drained to a sick white. She stepped forward, lips moving, but nothing coherent came out. Her friends suddenly had interest in the pastry table. Shots were taken of me sitting quietly, like a still life in a garden gone wrong. The photographer's choice. Lorenzo, the photographer, lowered his camera and looked directly at Adriana. "Do you want the story or the truth?" he asked, in perfect, slow English. A ripple of uncomfortable laughter leaked from the guests, but Lorenzo's voice tightened. "You've asked me to produce illusion," he said. "Right now the reality is better." Adriana sputtered. "We paid you to make everything beautiful," she tried. Lorenzo's response cut through the chatter. "I will make something beautiful, but not by pretending. Please, stand together for one portrait the way you are." He motioned to include me. She opened her mouth, closed it again. Cracks had started to spider across her composure. The public confrontation. My mother finally reached me, the practiced mask ripped off, letting panic and rage spill. "You don't get to ruin this," she hissed. "You are selfish." I looked at her, and for the first time I felt nothing like the little girl who swallowed apologies and pretended not to be hurt. I felt adult clarity. "I didn't ruin your day," I said, as soft as a church bell. "I ruined your illusion." My father jumped up, shame and fury tangled. "This is how you repay us," he began. I interrupted, because interruptions were the only way to stop the old loops that had allowed them to gaslight me for so long. "You told me you booked my ticket," I said. "You told me to relax. You told me I didn't need to worry. I believed you because I wanted to. I trusted you because you were supposed to be my family. You set me up to be absent so your images would be pure. That is not generosity. That is manipulation." A ripple of murmurs, then silence. Someone near the front reached for their phone, hands trembling. My sister made a small, strangled sound. She lunged forward, fingers clawing. "You're humiliating me," she cried. "No," I said simply. "You humiliated yourself." Her face collapsed into a jaw-dropping sob of disbelief. The social collapse. What happened next felt like dominoes. The wedding planner, prideful and visibly horrified, approached my mother, whispering that sponsors might pull back from live streams if there was scandal. An influential cousin who'd been grooming the event's Instagram takeover paused, then, without warning, posted the itinerary screenshot with a caption that read, "Curated perfection turned ugly. Family truth, staged life." By the time the ceremony finished, the hashtag Adriana Gets Married had been co-opted by screenshots and commentary. Friends who'd flown internationally texted me privately, some with sympathy, some astonishment. A few said, "We had no idea," others, "Thank you for showing us." My father tried one last move, voice shaking, "You don't understand family." I had, for years. That night, standing beneath strings of lights with laundry line ribbons catching the breeze, I replied, "I understand enough. Family is supposed to include you, not edit you out." The aftermath, their image dies, reputation falters. In the days that followed, the fallout was worse than I predicted. The wedding's curated feed flooded with two sets of photos, the polished gallery Adriana paid for and the candid truth forwarded by guests and strangers. Comments ranged from, "This is heartbreaking," to "Bride W/serious issues." Influencers who'd planned to tag the event quietly untagged. One sponsor requested a private meeting with the planner. Adriana's publicist sent an email demanding retractions. My mother texted me in tidal waves, apologies that read like PR statements. My father tried to call, I let it go to voicemail. My aunt lectured me 17 times in the group chat. Someone leaked an audio of my sister saying, I never wanted her in the photos, and it spread like wildfire. Her brand of everything faltered under the weight of her insistence that image mattered more than people. But among the chaos, the thing that surprised me was small and unexpected. My cousin Anna sat beside me at the villa that first evening, took my hand, and said, quietly, "You did the right thing." She had wanted truth. She had wanted the family to see what they'd become. The personal reckoning. There were moments that weren't about public spectacle. A florist I'd never met asked for a quiet word and handed me a folded card. Sometimes the truest beauty is the one that refuses to be staged. Another guest, an elderly woman at the next table, took my wrist and said softly, "You showed courage. Thank you for preserving what's real." At night, as the villa emptied and the echoes of the day settled into chairs and ashtrays, I sat on the terrace with my camera, scrolling through the messages. Some were angry. Some were supportive. Mostly, there was a current of people who finally understood my absence in family photos was no accident. Adriana avoided me. She moved through the party like someone with a visible crack in their skin, fragile and furious. My mother tried a public apology that sounded like a script. My father, quieter now, watched the people around him whisper. The family's curated life had a dent in it, and dents are hard to hide. The seed planted for the final act. Standing under the moonlight, I felt both vindication and hollow distance. I hadn't wanted to humiliate my sister. I had wanted to be seen. The world had watched, and in doing so the world had chosen an answer. In exposing the truth I'd forced them into a decision, change or become a cautionary tale. My revenge wasn't finished. It couldn't be. There were still apologies to scrutinize, people to confront, and an entire family's worth of denial to dismantle. But what I did that day did one crucial thing. It stripped their perfect surface away in front of everyone who mattered. And when people start looking past the surface, they see what's inside. Next, in part 6, everything comes to a head, a final family reckoning, a surprising ally steps forward, the legal and social consequences unfold, and I decide what family will mean from now on. There's a moment after the chaos, after the truth detonates, where everything goes eerily still. A calm that isn't peaceful. A silence that isn't empty. A pause where everyone waits to see what happens next. That's where we were. The ceremony was over. The curated wedding photos were ruined. The viral storm was building. My family's perfect facade had cracked open, and the entire villa felt it. But the real climax didn't happen during the ceremony. It happened later that night. When all the masks finally came off. When my sister confronted me one last time. When an unexpected ally stood up for me. When the truth finally changed everything. And when the meaning of family was rewritten. White medium star. The reception, a room full of silence and side eyes. The reception was supposed to be a fairy tale night. Candlelit tables. Floating flower arrangements. A famous DJ. Crystal glasses stacked in pyramids. Signature cocktails named after the bride and groom. Instead, it was a room full of awkward silence and people whispering into their wine glasses. The gossip wasn't subtle anymore. Guests kept glancing between me and Adriana like they were watching a fragile sculpture slowly crumble. My parents floated through the room trying to salvage dignity, smiling too wide, laughing too loudly, drinking too fast. My mother kept hissing at people. "It's just a misunderstanding. She's being dramatic, she always was." Adriana did nothing wrong. But no one believed her. People saw the screenshots. People saw the truth. You can't unsee receipts. Especially at a wedding. White medium star. The groom finally finds out. I was standing near a garden entrance when someone cleared his throat behind me. I turned. It was the groom, Luca. I always liked him. Kind. Stable. Someone who didn't come from a performative family. He had warmth you couldn't fake. But right now? His face was carved from stone. "Can we talk?" he asked. "Sure." He exhaled slowly. I saw the email. My heartbeat slowed. "And?" I asked quietly. "And I didn't know." His voice cracked. "I swear on everything, I had no idea Adriana excluded you. She told me you weren't coming because of work. That you didn't want to travel. That you hated weddings." A bitter laugh escaped me. "That's the story she always uses." He ran a hand through his hair. "I'm sorry," he whispered. "I'm so sorry she did this. You didn't deserve it." His eyes were full of something I never expected, genuine hurt. Not for himself. For me. He swallowed. "She should have treated you like family." I nodded slowly. "Yeah," I said. "She should have." Then Luca said something that surprised me. "Tonight, she needs to face what she's done. I won't protect her from the truth this time." My chest tightened. "Why are you telling me this?" "Because," he hesitated, then said softly. "Because you were right to send that email. Anyone else would have done worse." He walked away. And for the first time that day, I felt seen by someone who wasn't related to me. Sometimes strangers understand you more than your own blood. White medium star. The bride's breakdown, the final confrontation. It didn't take long. Adriana stormed toward me in her wedding dress, makeup streaked, hair frizzing, trembling with rage. The bridesmaids tried to stop her. She shoved them away. "You ruined my wedding," she shrieked. The music abruptly stopped. Eyes turned toward us. Conversations died. I stood still. Calm. Unmoved. Silent. Adriana pointed at me with a shaking finger. "You jealous, attention-seeking little." I raised a hand. "No," I said quietly. "Don't do that. Don't rewrite the story. You made me look like a monster," she cried. "You did that," I said. I just held up the mirror. Her jaw trembled. "You could have talked to me privately." "I tried," I said. "You lied. And you didn't care." She choked. "You embarrassed me. You excluded me," I said, "and expected me to accept it." Her voice sharpened like broken glass. You couldn't let me have one day? One perfect day? One moment? Why do you always ruin everything? I looked right into her eyes and said the line that had been burning inside me for years. I'm not ruining a perfect day. I'm just proving it was never perfect to begin with. Gasps. Whispers. A dozen phones recording. Her face cracked. Her voice dropped to a small childlike whisper. You were supposed to stay away. I know, I said. And that's exactly why I came. That broke her. She sobbed, violently, uncontrollably, mascara running down her cheeks until she looked nothing like the curated woman she tried to be. My mother ran over, panic in her voice. Stop this. You're humiliating her. I turned to her, voice cool as winter. She humiliated herself. White medium star, the unexpected ally. And then, something I never saw coming happened. My father stepped between us. Not to defend her. Not to scold me. But to speak the truth he'd never spoken before. He looked at Adriana, then at my mother, and finally at me. His voice shook. She's right. The entire reception froze. My mother's face whitened. What did you just say? She hissed. He inhaled deeply, and for once, he didn't look like her puppet. For years, he said slowly. You treated her like background noise. Like she didn't matter unless she made you look good. I let it happen. I shouldn't have. My mother gasped like someone slapped her. How dare you? He ignored her. We were wrong, he said, voice breaking. And she deserved better from all of us. Especially you, Adriana. My sister sobbed harder. People filmed. People whispered. People watched the family empire crumble. My father turned to me. And in a voice so quiet only I could hear. I'm sorry. I failed you. I felt my throat tighten. I didn't forgive him. But I acknowledged the truth. Sometimes closure isn't healing. It's honesty. White medium star, the final decision, what family means now. After the meltdown, after the crying, after the chaos, after the speeches turned into arguments. I slipped away from the reception. I walked outside onto the terrace overlooking Lake Como. The moonlit water shimmered like glass. The villa behind me buzzed with drama. The truth was out. My revenge wasn't dramatic. It wasn't cruel. It wasn't vindictive. It was exposure. Pure and simple. Not to destroy them, but to free myself. Someone walked onto the terrace behind me. It was Luca again. He stood beside me, hands in his pockets. You okay? He asked quietly. Yeah, I said. For the first time. I think I am. He nodded slowly. You didn't ruin the wedding, he said. You revealed the truth. I smiled softly. Thank you. He looked at the lake. What are you going to do now? I exhaled. And said the most powerful words I had spoken in years. I'm going to live my life. Without them deciding where I fit. He nodded, then walked back inside. I took one last look at the villa. The curated lights. The curated guests. The curated family. Then I walked down the stone steps toward the road. No suitcase. No goodbyes. Just me. White medium star epilogue, 3 months later. I didn't return to that family. Not emotionally. Not socially. Not digitally. I blocked the group chat. I muted the drama. I unfollowed the carefully curated feeds. Not out of anger. Out of peace. Anna and I still talk, the only one who stayed honest. Luca sent a thank you note. He appreciated that I didn't go nuclear, as he put it. My parents? Still trying to pretend nothing happened. Adriana? She went viral anyway. Not for the fairy tale wedding she planned, but for the lesson she taught the world. You can't curate real family. And you can't erase someone who finally chooses themselves. And me? I returned to Italy 2 months later. Same hostel. Same lake. Same freedom. Only this time, I wasn't escaping anything. I was choosing myself. Fully, unapologetically, beautifully. And for the first time, it felt like I had finally found where I belonged. Not in their photos. Not in their story. But in my own.